Guys, we are on the wrong screen. Where are we? Where are we? Well, I'm here. Alright, let me just move this across here, guys. You guys can see the Topstep screen. Where are we? Give me 2 seconds, guys. Just moving the screens around. Aha, here we go. Alright, we're on. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Apologies for the delay this morning, guys. I just had to hop on an important call this morning, so just as soon as I jumped straight on here with you guys. So let's have a look at the markets this morning, guys. Let's jump straight in. Yes, disconnected. That's not good. Back on. OBS connected. Sorry, guys. Looks like we're on. Looks like we're up and running. Awesome. Audio and video good. Awesome. Thank you very much. Let's have a look here, guys. Welcome back, everyone. If any of you guys are new here, welcome. My name is Aaron, also known as Aaron Trades. Been trading for the past 7 years, mainly focusing on gold futures here in the European session. So welcome back, everyone. Happy Wednesday, guys. Happy Wednesday, guys. Gold's not really doing too much. I know everyone has seen this bigger. I just had a very quick look. NQ is having a absolutely monster sell-off here. Huge sell-off here on NQ. This is huge. This is NQ in the last 30 minutes is down almost 100 points, which is huge. Absolutely massive. Big sell-off here at NQ, guys. Now, we did take some nice trades yesterday. If you guys... Let me just fire up here. We're going to get that... we're going to get that little plug in again. Let me just see. We did take some nice longs yesterday on gold. Look at this. We're going to get the little plug here for my Twitter again. See if we can get this. This is going to be my Topstep Twitter where we're going to post on the updates. So if you guys are over on Twitter, some of you guys did follow yesterday. I appreciate it. If you guys do use Twitter, I'm over on there. Again, I keep calling Twitter. X, I should say. The Aaron Trades. And I posted a long trade that we took yesterday, which was very nice. And I waited all day for this trade. And the patience absolutely paid. Why can we not hear... You guys hear the background music? I don't think you guys can hear the background music. Maybe you can. Yeah, we took some very nice gold buys yesterday. Very nice gold buys. We got like 87 ticks in like 10 minutes. So if you guys are active on X, drop me a little follow. The Aaron Trades. I'll be posting some of the wins and the losses from these Topstep streams as well. So that was a nice NQ trade that we took on Monday. And that was a nice trade that we took yesterday. So it's a brand new month here today as well, guys. It is the 1st of October. 1st of October, we're in for a brand new month. We got NQ creating a pretty aggressive monthly bottom wick. Let me just close this door, guys. It's pretty noisy. Have you always had X? No, not really, to be honest. I just I've had it for a while, but to be honest, I've never really used it. And I saw Dakota was starting to use it in the slow market to share some people sharing their setups and trades and stuff like that. So I'll try and use it more. I will try and use it more. Just post some like updates of trades that we've taken on this stream. Like we took this on the live stream. I don't know if you can read what pixels what, but just posted some like stock updates and sharing some stuff. I haven't been posting on it much, but I'm gonna get active on there and try and post pretty much every day or anytime we take a trade, win, loss. We'll try and share it all. So before we do anything, guys, let's have a quick look at the news. We do have ADP non-farm employment change today at 1:30 London time. Let me just have a quick look here. Yeah, ADP non-farm employment changes 1:15 London time, and then 3 p.m. London time we have manufacturing PMI, and then of course on Friday we got the big NFP as well. But this is the first day of the month, and look how strong NQ has closed in September. So could this be an instant bottom wick here on the monthly time frame? Could we be finding some big support down here and we see NQ come all the way back up into these highs? Possible. Very possible. This is a pretty we got gold ranging, guys, so we got time here. We got did we hit? So, oh, look at that. Hit all-time highs again in Asia. All-time highs in Asia. Pull them back. But we do have some very, very big support down here on NQ. Look at this. Big, big, big support. But again, you're having an absolutely huge, 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 huge sell-off here. This is a massive, massive sell-off. Oh, look at this. It's beginning. It's the start. Government shutdown begins. Look at this. That'll do it. Look at that. Wow. Contracts for S&P and Nasdaq fell 0.4%. Interesting. Big, yeah, some huge, huge sell-offs here, even in Asia. You know, you had a huge sell-off here in Asia, and just continuing this massive sell-off here in the London session. So, first trading day of the month. Be very, very careful trying to trade this. This is already a massive, massive sell-off here on NQ. So be very, very, very careful. Although we're coming in some big support levels, this is pure fundamentals, and we are selling off very, 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 very aggressively. We had these daily lows that we spoke about yesterday. We're trying to get shorts down into. Couldn't quite tag the lows. Ended up pulling all the way back. Held a lot of resistance. Broke back below. Retested. And a huge sell-off here in Asia. So, huge, huge, huge moves on NQ here. And you guys get them sells? Anyone in somehow in NQ sells early doors? Anyone in sells? I don't imagine you guys are. Does Twitter have reels and shorts? I don't know. I don't think so, to be honest, man. I don't think so. You can post. I believe you can post videos on there, but honestly, I'm not very good at it. So I'm probably the best person to ask. But yeah, I'm trying to post some like trade breakdown videos. Like I said, you guys on YouTube, we did take some very nice gold longs yesterday from down here. Trying to get this pullback. Ended up being a very nice trade. We got about 87-ish ticks. And like I said to you guys yesterday, you know, although I didn't get any of this short down, Why did I not get any of this short down? Well, it kind of opened and just ripped without me, but also I know that gold's still bullish. So although I might not have got this short down, once gold finds some support, I'll absolutely get my piece on the way back up, because I know gold is still overall bullish, and at any point this finds support, so you keep going right back higher. Whereas I think a lot of people would have seen this pullback, you know, tried to short here, risk of these all-time highs, look of this next leg lower. But what you have to remember, and always keep in the back of your mind, is gold on the higher time frame is still bullish. Nothing changed. If anything, we're still looking even more bullish, given the fact that we have just had this monthly close, and it's an absolutely probably one of the biggest months we've seen on gold in a very, 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 very long time. So last month, gold's up what, 10%? 10% on gold in a month is huge. So I know some people would have got, you know, a bit of FOMO in this yesterday, trying to chase the shorts. But all I was simply waiting for was going, okay, cool, it's not my trade. It would have been nice to maybe get a little piece at the way down. But guess what? Didn't really give me a reason to take the sells straight away. But once we find some support, you absolutely better believe we'll get our piece right back up. You ended up holding some very nice support, which was a decent previous breakout level here. You also had 3,800 on the currency chart, which presented a perfect 4-hour morning star. And you ended up retracing another 750 ticks. So, you know, you can try and chase the shorts down, or you can follow your plan and stick to it and accept, you know what, that's just not my trade, and that's okay. But if you catch the move back up, well, guess what? There was 750 ticks on the cards. So all of a sudden, not getting the move down has zero relevance, because you keep in the back of your mind that gold is still extremely, extremely bullish. We got London open here as well, guys. We'll see what we get here for London today. We'll look at what we have for the day. Just wanted to show you guys. Where's my... if you guys have a look at the... you guys on Zoom would have seen it. But if you have a look at the currency chart, the reason we were taking longs yesterday is you had that absolutely perfect morning star play. Now, what do we always talk about on stream? We talk about these morning stars literally every single day. You had an absolutely perfect morning star here on the currency chart, and it also came right around our key level of 3,800. So there was buys here at the New York Open for like 350 plus ticks. So I got nothing of the move down, but guess what? I don't get FOMO, I don't get emotional, I don't chase it, I wait, and I know that my next trade's always right around the corner. And once we do start finding some support, I will absolutely get in the markets and take my piece of it. So just a good example yesterday as to why you shouldn't chase trades and follow the plan, and just remember that gold is still extremely, extremely bullish. Yeah, learn our lesson and hold 1 million for the month of October. Everyone enters now. So let's see what we get for today on gold. Obviously, you've got NQ having a huge sell-off. We'll look at some currencies as well. You did have a nice tag of the highs here in the Asian session on gold, holding 3,900 and having a little bit of a pullback. Let's have a look here. Entered along on gold off a 5-minute morning star. Closed bearish. I've seen a bearish head and shoulders. Was it a valid close? Which time, man? When do you take the trade, man? If you send it in, what's every time you took it, based off the London time down here, but I can have a look. But if it was anything in this range, I would say stay away from the 5-minute. There's no reason to watch the 5-minute. The hourly's in the aggressive range. If you try and trade the 5-minute morning star when the higher time frame's in a range, you will get chopped up all day long. So I look at this on gold, and I'm looking at this again. There is no reason for me to watch the 5-minute. If you focus too much on the 5-minute time frame, you're going to get stuck in very, very, very sideways price action. Look at this. So if the the higher time frames not giving you any sort of good price action right now, dropping down to lower time frames is one of the worst things you can do. You only drop down to lower time frame once price action has confirmed your move. Which in here, well, you have no upside targets because you just liquidated yesterday's highs, 3,900, and you also have support right here. So you're working within this range. So watching the 5-minute, is going to trap you in a lot of false trades. You're breaking out, you might try to go long, right back down. Breaks out again, you might try to go long, right back down. Here you try to go long, right back down. So you can get chopped up in here all day long, or you can just zoom out and be like, okay, cool. Hourly resistance, hourly support. Let me just wait for a breakout and then get my much easier trade. Make your life as easy as you can. Lower time frames for execution once the higher time frames confirm the move. Lower time frame isn't lower time frames not for trade ideas. Oil bounce. Let's have a look. We got gold in this pretty tight range, guys. So like I just said, we pretty much need to see a little bit more here on gold. We do have that ADP non-farm employment change later on, but this is absolutely a no trade range for me. Look at this price action. Is there anything in here that we can actually read and trust? Absolutely not. This is very, very, very hard to read. NQ finding some support, which is nice. So yeah, patience will pay here on Gordy this morning, guys. Crude bounce. Let's have a look. So you ended up having a continuation sell-off yesterday on crude. Where's our liquidity levels from yesterday? So we do still have some downside levels on crude. We do have the 61, what's this? 61.12 back down into 61 as well. But we are at some, again, major support. And a potential bounce from here is possible. Let's have a look. So you obviously continued selling off yesterday, pulling back here today. Quick look at that monthly time frame. Yeah, this month looks good to sell off into last month's low, and these lows down here and potentially even lower. But again, yeah, daily time frame, Europe is some pretty decent support. So having a bounce from here does look nice. Hourly time frame, let's see. Looks pretty messy in here. You're bearish, bullish, bullish, bearish, bullish. It does look a little bit choppy. There might be nicer opportunities out there. I mean, a pullback could be nice. You just had this 30-minute and hourly fake out. But the only thing is, where would you be, where are you trading up into? We know we're overall bearish. You could maybe come back up and test some highs from yesterday up here, back at that $63 level as well. Potential pullback level. I would just keep back in mind that we are still, very Very, very, very bearish. So it's like, yeah, it's possible for a bounce, but we are still overall bearish. Today's, yeah, I know, it's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I wouldn't get too trapped in this range here. I'd wait to see a little bit. How did that pre-London candle close? So you can see bullish, bearish, bullish, right into resistance. Big news later on. I would be careful here. Let's have a look at copper. Copper was looking nice yesterday. Let's have a look. Again, this is why I don't trade copper. Look at that. A nice dive lows yesterday, bullish, straight back down, pull back down again. So pretty rangy market here on copper. You do still have a nice trend line to come up and squeeze as well. This is why I don't really like swing trading copper. But let's have a look. Daily time frame, you know, is in a nice breakout. We did just have that monthly close. Let's have a quick look. Nice strong bullish close in September. So you'd be looking for this month to continue pushing up into like $5. Oh, look at this. 87.5% on trade direction. Nice. Just keep buying gold. Very nice. Is that literally just from buying gold? Second one micro, yeah, nice. Yeah, trade direction has been pretty simple on gold. It's been so bullish, so bullish. That's why we have to take advantage of these times here on gold. So daily on copper, looks like we want to continue pushing up. You know, you do have this nice resistance liquidity level, $5 sitting above as well. You're kind of bouncing off some nice support here already. So you're already having a pretty decent breakout here. Massive push here in the first 9 minutes of this London Open candle. Look at this. So I'd want to see maybe a little bit of a breakout here again on copper. Maybe a 15, 30 minute closure. And then see if you can trade this trendline breakout. Let me just see you guys 2 seconds. Of everything we've looked at, this does look like the nicest. NQ's already had a huge push, so it's going to be hard to trade NQ. Gold's in a bit of range. Crude's in a bit of range. Copper is trying to have a breakout. You're trying to get a breakout here on copper. Now remember, same thing with the euro. You know, we do have major news here today. Remember, guys, have a quick look at your monthly candle closures, because although we're not swing trading, we have just had the September close. So see how it's closed, and have we grabbed highs and lows? Have we closed, you know, very bullish? You don't want to be trying to chase the first day of the month, kind of like NQ. Although NQ is having a huge sell-off, how did we close last month? Still very, very, very bullish. So it's important to have that quick look. Look at here in the euro, though. To me, this looks like the euro could have a bit of a sell-off here. Last month we came up, we liquidated these highs, held the big resistance that we spoke about as well, opening and instantly top wicking. So looks to me, again, it's much higher time frame, but this to me looks like a potential evening star shaping up here. Last week, how did we close last week? See, major support, major resistance. We are very, 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 very choppy on the euro. Again, it's not a level where I would be buying the euro. You're also currently above yesterday's high. And what did yesterday high do? Closed back below 1.18. So could today on the euro end up wicking all the way back below, and then you start to get that bit of a sell-off? I mean, it's looking possible. I would be looking for potential resistance being formed here on the euro for shorts. To me, this looks like a nice short level. What did we just do here pre-London? You had a nice double top. Would have been very nice to trade up into it if you were trading the euro. But now that we're above these highs, I would be watching for some potential lower time frame, maybe breakouts for some shorts. You know, if you start closing back bearish on the euro, I like euro shorts. I wouldn't be chasing this out personally. This is you kind of got this nice drive into highs. I'll be watching some resistance around here on the euro. I wouldn't get too excited about these shorts, about the long, sorry. Howdy, Aaron. Hey, Dan, what's going on, man? How are you doing today? Doing good, thank you, man. We're doing good. We'll be doing even better if Goldie shapes up for us here today. We got gold in a Gold in a pretty aggressive range. Very, very, very aggressive range here. Look at this price action. That's why, you know, like I said to you guys, if you can't really read what the hourly time frame's doing, don't try and think too much about the lower time frame. If the hourly's ranging, the lower time frame's going to chop you up even more. Like the trade that we had yesterday. We had the longs from here yesterday up into, I think it was just this, from here to here. What made this trade so nice? We had the 4 hourly holding support. We had a nice hourly breakout. We had a nice 30-minute breakout. And then we had a nice 15-minute morning star play. Beautiful. But what made this trade so nice was the higher time frame levels and analysis. You made 80 ticks in literally like 5-10 minutes. So that's the quality trades that we want. We want the exact same thing here today. We want to be making the we want to let the higher time frame show us its cards, and then we want to take our trade. But it is a big fundamental week as well, guys. Remember, it's the first day of the month. You know, first trading day of the month. Don't ruin your month. Go and, you know, all in here. We have big news coming out later on from 1:15 all the way till 3 o'clock London time, and then we do have NFP on Friday as well. Managed to catch a decent portion of that NQ sell. Nice, down into previous day low. Yeah, very nice, man. It's a huge, huge, huge sell-off on NQ. Massive sell-off. But yeah, I agree. It's had a great sell-off, but kind of where it's at now on the higher time frame is going to be a big make or break level. You kind of got some pretty big trend lines coming up here as well. So could you maybe squeeze down even more? I mean, NFP is going to be the big decider here. But you're going to getting pretty squeezed here on the higher time frame. But in terms of what could we see for the London session, yeah, you're already coming in some very, 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 very big support levels. Hey, Aaron. For you, why GC? Let me have a look. Why did GC come back to my entry and now seems to be going up? Seems to be going down after entry liquidity gap on the 15. It's kind of a. Let me go back to my profit chart. It's kind of like what I just said. It's you know, you don't get too worried about what's happening on the 15 or the 5 minute. What's the hourly telling you right now? If the hourly's in an aggressive range, then the lower time frame is just going to chop you up even more. But if you had you were long from 87.5, which is nice entry from down here. But you know, you're hitting resistance. You're at support. You're at resistance. You're in a very, very sideways market on gold. So try not to hold a trending move unless we can break out here and hold the support. Fantastic. But look at that 30-minute price action. Tag the highs bearish, straight back above. Long from 88.2. Very nice. 88.2. Around there. Nice. Hourly closure, holding support, holding resistance. But yeah, don't get like I say, if the hourly's going sideways, which we have been on gold since pretty much the whole entire Asian session. You know, you tried to push up, you're down, up, down, up. Don't get too focused on the lower time frame. You know, you can sit here and trade the lower time frame. You know, you might get lucky, you might get some trades. Not only will you waste a lot of time, you'll have loads of small little losses, which also end up being very annoying, which end up turning into big losses because it becomes more of an emotional game. So if I see a range like this on gold, I zoom out. I go, okay, cool. What's the higher time frame telling me? Well, we're at all-time high resistance. We got support here. We got resistance here. We haven't really had any sort of candle breakout for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours worth of price action. So let me just wait for a higher time frame breakout and then get my trade. Same thing here yesterday. You know, when we took these longs yesterday, you broke out, showed me volume, showed me direction, and then I took my trade. Same thing here. You know, I'll let this break out, show me volume, which is the most important part, show me direction, and then I'll take my trade. Just hypothetically, can you trade only 30-minute? What would be your approach if you kind of go on the lower time frame? Absolutely, you can just trade the 30-minute, man. 100%. You get some fantastic trades on the 30-minute on gold. Our trade yesterday was based off the 30-minute. You had an hourly breakout. 30-minute came back down, held this little level. We took longs from here to here. I'm actually trying to play it back up into here, but I got like 87 ticks in like 10 minutes, which was $807. I was like, job done. 30-minute fake outs are great. We took 30-minute fake outs live here last week together. If you go back to the stream, which is on the Topstep channel from the 25th, which I believe was Thursday. Thursday's trade last week was a 30-minute trade. It was all based off a 30-minute fake out with clear targets. So you broke below the support. We weren't looking for sells, we were looking for longs, so we wait for the candle to close right back above, and there we get our trade. But could you just trade the 30-minute time frame? Absolutely. Especially for gold. Look at this. You got, what's this? Again, I think I took this on the 5-minute, but what's this? This is the 30-minute time frame again. It's the exact same pattern that happened on gold yesterday that gave a 500 plus tick move. Where's a good example? Here. Morning star. Beautiful morning star. Close bearish. Tag the lows. Grab liquidity. Close right back above. You had some clear targets above. Cool. Nice 30-minute trade there again. Again, nice 30-minute trade. Liquidity grab. Breakout. You can, again, 30-minute fake out here. Breaks below. Breaks right back above. Cool. There's your trade. You can, again, 30-minute fake out here. Closes bearish. Holds 3800. Closes right back above. More longs. Look at all these 30-minute fake out plays. Look at this again. You close below the support, you close right back above. Cool. There's another 150 ticks. Same here again. Tag the lows, close back above. Nice little scalp here as well. Yeah, loads and loads and loads and loads. Plenty and plenty and plenty of trades to just trade 30-minute time frame. That's why I would say to you guys, you know, do some back testing on the 30-minute time frame, and I think you'll be surprised at how nice it is to actually read gold on the 30-minute time frame. I still do my, you know, I do my top down. I still do my daily, my 4-hour, my hourly. But in terms of could you just use the 30-minute for execution? Absolutely. And you would get very nice clean trades. The thing is with trading the 30-minute time frame here on gold is you don't want to watch that, you know, once you execute, you don't want to watch that 30-minute candle in real time, because that's what gold loves to do. It loves to shake you out of the position. You know, gold can look bullish in the 30-minute and then it can look bearish. You cut the trade and it ends up doing exactly what you want. So if I trade off the 30-minute, which I do majority of the time, but we're not trading the 5-minute here together, I'm having my execution and I'm walking away for the next 30-minute close, and it ends up doing pretty much exactly what we want. Euro had a look at the euro band. Scroll back a little bit. We did break down the euro as well. Gold potentially having a bit of a breakout here, guys. You can probably go back and watch, man. I don't want to go over it again just because I've just literally gone over it. But if you go on the YouTube stream, man, you can go. But there's no. It's just our plan on the 30-minute time frame. The plan doesn't change. Just the time frame is exactly the same setups that we use. Liquidity, morning stars, fake outs. Doesn't matter if you're trading the 5-minute or you're trading the alley. It's the exact same thing. You do the exact same thing. You do all the top-down analysis. But yeah, you guys on Zoom is how we break it down in the market calls every single day. How I break it down in the market calls is exactly how you guys should be doing it. When I do the market calls, I don't go any lower than the 30-minute, because that's the best time frame that you want to be getting trade direction off. Exactly the same as the trade that we took yesterday. How do you manage trades that goes against you? My biggest hurdle right now is not hitting my hard stop loss when it goes against me. Closures, again, 30-minute as well. 30-minute closures. One of the best time frames that if I get 30-minute closure against me, I'm closing the trade. Thank you. You didn't get one?
Nah.
Thank you. You got a coffee delivery, look at that. The delivery man's here. Again, how would I have managed this 30-minute trade from last week? Well, I might have a stop below here, for example. But if I'm buying a 30-minute fake out here, well, as long as the 30-minute doesn't close against me, I'm going to hold the trade. If this 30-minute candle here had closed like this, I'd be getting out of the trade right away. But as long as it doesn't close against me on the 30-minute time frame, I'm happy to hold the trade. So I personally manage my trades based off closures against me on at least the 30-minute. Oh, nice. Let's have a look, Dave. Look at this. Nice bounce here. Happy with it. 6 MGC, $440. Yeah, it's a very nice bounce here, man. Very, very, very nice bounce. Gold trying to have a bit of a breakout here. First sign of a volume here. But again, would I buy gold here? Not really. Why? Because you're back at resistance. Good morning, guys. Good morning, Anthony. Good morning, man. Good to have you tuning in. Hope you're doing well. Is that last hourly not a liquidity grab? Let's have a look. Yeah, it is. It definitely is. If I had nicer targets to the upside, you know, I would take that. But it's more so just because it was so rangy. And you know, if I was buying this liquidity grab here, I'd want to see this 730 candle have a nice drive up. But you can kind of see you then tag the highs and also close bearish. So at this point, you know, you're holding resistance, you're holding support. So you can ignore this candle right now because it hadn't closed yet. It's kind of hard. But if you ignore this right now, you know, you're tagging lows, you held support, then you're tagging highs and closing bearish. So you're holding resistance, holding support. So it was also a liquidity grab to the highs here as well. Tag the highs bearish, tag the lows, held support, and ripping straight back higher. But yeah, on the high time frame, it is. The only reason I wouldn't take this trade here is because this was also an hourly liquidity grab here. And look what happened with this trade. It ranged and stopped you out. And why did it stop you out? Well, because you had no real upside targets. So you can't look at this one and go, oh, damn, I would have taken this one. Well, if you'd taken every liquidity grab this morning, you would have gone sideways for a very, very, very long time. So that was a beautiful morning star play here on the hourly time frame of 5 a.m. London time. But the reason I wouldn't have taken that is because you're buying right into resistance. Exactly the same reason I won't take this. However, if we close above here, maybe let's say on at least a 30-minute in 7 minutes, then cool. I can confirm a bit of a breakout of this range. Now I can see if I can get longs up into these Asia highs. Yeah, hourly close below strong level. Yeah, nice. I like that. I like that. I like that. Hello from Spain. Hello, man. Welcome. Both tuning in from Spain. I'm from whereabouts in Spain, man? I'm here as well. Here in Spain as well. That's amazing, man. Hiron, I love your style. So much less scared and reactive following your coaching. Thank you. That's amazing, man. That keyword right there, reactive, is exactly what we want to hear. You want to be as reactive as possible. Don't be pretty, like right now. Don't see this move up like, damn, oh, I should have been in from here or I should have done this. No, it's in a range. Just let the candle break out and then get your trade. The markets don't move as quick as you think. Exactly the same with this move down yesterday. Didn't get any of this move down yesterday. But once we held support and broke out, I keep it in the back of my mind. Cool. Gold's still overall bullish. Now let me get my piece. You know, don't get too focused on trying to catch every single up and down move here in the markets. You guys want quality over quantity. So that's amazing to hear, man. Amazing to hear. How many ticks you go for in a trade? It's another Spain here. Nice. I've got a few Spanish people tuning in. I think there's like maybe 3 or 4 people in Spain from in Discord. You got some guys in Spain on the YouTube stream as well. I guess maybe it calls for a Spain meetup in Murcia. Nice. Cool. I've never been. I've heard of it, but I've never been. Nice. Yeah, how many ticks do I go for in a trade? I take as many as the markets give me into my targets. So I'll show you the past couple of trades examples. So how many ticks do I go for? I trade into price action. So I don't trade into a certain tick amount because unfortunately the markets don't care about how many ticks we want. The markets only care about what we have to the left. So if you go back to last week's stream from the 25th, buying up into this liquidity level. I think I closed a little bit early, but the targets were this high. That gave 70 ticks. The buys here pre-London last week, this gave 60 ticks. And then the longs yesterday was a very small pullback trade. I say very small, it was still 80 ticks. So on average, I would say, depends on what session you're trading. You know, if I'm trading London, you know, like right now, like here, if you're playing this range, doesn't matter how many ticks that you want or how many ticks you should go for. Well, how big is this range? This range is, you know, 70 ticks. So you probably maybe get half of that. You might get 30 in this range. If we're having a big, nice trending move like this, then maybe I'll try to get 100. It depends on it all depends on what the markets give you. But on average, I would say I'm around 50. Past couple of weeks have been close to like 70 to 80, so one contract, $700, $800, because the moves have been so large. I mean, in the London session though, you know, look at this, gold already rejecting this resistance here, guys. In the London session though, even going back a year, 2 years ago, you know, this big of a move here in the London session would maybe be like 20 ticks. Now you're talking like 200, which is just insane. So the markets are moving way more. So, 2 years ago I'd be happy with 20 ticks in a London session, but now we're getting like 50, 60, 70 ticks in a London session. It's crazy. How am I monitoring the volume just based on a higher time frame closure. Like, I don't need some sort of tool or some sort of indicator to tell me that gold is ranging here. Yeah, there might have been a volume at the support, but it's just support. What I call volume is just higher time frame breakouts of levels. That's what I class as volume. Like here, it's very little volume. I don't want to take a trade. If we break out, cool. There's volume, there's direction, then I'll get my trade. Same as the longs from down here yesterday. In here, what do we have? We have a range. So in here, there's no volume. There's also no direction. But once we break out, cool. Here's my confirmation of volume. Here's my confirmation of direction. Now I'll get my trade in the pullback. You pull back, you break out, then I get my trade. But just that very minor setup yesterday, which was a very small piece of the markets. And that's all I'm really wanting. It seems like a very small piece of the markets when you zoom out. But this is the trade we took yesterday. From here to here, that's 80 ticks. At one contract, $800 in 15 minutes. And it's a very nice piece. And it ended up giving me more opportunities here, more opportunities here. But I took my 80 ticks across 2 accounts and I was job done. Job done. We've got a 30-minute close coming in 2 minutes here, guys. Call a short on the euro. Let's have a look, man. So the euro short is based off the higher time frame. Look at this euro selling down beautifully now. Did we do the analysis on here or here? I can't remember if we did. I think we did the analysis. Yeah, look at that. Euro having a very nice sell-off. This is, the reason I just spoke about these euro sells is because massive resistance. Although this is looking very bullish at the time of when we first jumped on here, euro was looking very bullish. What did we do yesterday? Yesterday we wicked out highs and held below 1.18. So I'm basically anticipating the same thing's going to happen here today. And this is going to be a lovely wick rejection. And you're going to have a bit of a sell-off. You can also see on the higher time frame on the euro. I don't know if anyone did short the euro, if there was a reason. But look at this on the euro time frame. Look at this monthly time frame. This looks like a perfect evening star to push lower. And then weekly again, support back at major resistance. Main reason for shorting here is above previous daily highs and the fact that yesterday actually held below 1.18 and huge resistance. Was there a reason to short it though? Is there a reason to short? Yeah, I mean, you guess you're above the previous hourly highs as well. I probably want to see a little bit of a breakout here, and then you could start getting your shorts all the way back down into like 1.176-ish. You also had like a kind of third drive into these highs, something that gold loves to do, something that euro loves to do as well. You have this 1, 2, third drive into the highs, and then you have that sell-off. You're also tagging previous highs as well. So that was the reason for absolutely not buying here on the euro, but looking for sells. And look at this huge sell-off here. Not much of a confirmation to have short it yet, but if you break out here, yeah, you got more downside here. So nice call on the euro there. I don't trade it, but if you guys did trade it, well done. Or if you're going to trade it, you have more downside to come. But yeah, the reasons for the euro short was higher time frame, man. Higher time frame, major resistance, third drive into the highs, nice liquidity grabs. You did just have a nice 30-minute breakout here on gold, so if you can get a bit of a pullback, I wouldn't mind seeing these longs. Tagged at break even on this early before hitting full TP. Let's have a look, man. Yeah, that was great trade, Sean. Great trade and great break even. It would have been made no sense to hold that trade. But sometimes people will see that trade and go, "Oh, if I had held that, I would have made money." It's like, no, you know what works consistently. If you get a strong 15, morning star play like that and it doesn't drive, then it's just not ready. So great management there, man. Lovely trade. That's the thing. I like gold up into these Asia highs, so I'd like to get long here on gold. I just want to see a little bit of a pullback here. How did you end up working with Topstep? Well, I was streaming on my own channel for like 3+ years. You guys can go over to my channel. You can see all my old streams. And then Topstep saw how much money I was making, and we were like, yeah, we can't not get this guy on our channel. We really can't. Yeah, I was streaming on my channel for like 2 years, and then Topstep started introducing slow markets, and then I just reached out and said if there's ever an opportunity to start my own London show, I would love to do it, and they said yes, and here we are, and the rest is history. And I'd been using Topstep on my own channel, live streaming every day for like a long time anyway, so we just yeah, I don't know, just said, you know, if you ever guys want to do a London session, you know, but I would love to host one. And then we do it. That's why I said to you guys, you know, document your journey, put yourself out there. Who knows where it can take you? Did I know when I first started streaming that I would have the opportunity to stream here on Topstep? Absolutely not. I didn't know what it could do, but I knew and I believed in my ability to bring it to live streams, and thought I could offer something that other maybe streamers weren't necessarily bringing, that didn't suit everyone's needs. You know, a lot of streamers were kind of you know, scalping NQ and stuff like that, which is all well and good, but for me personally, it didn't work as well. I was like, okay, maybe there's an opportunity for me to show people how to trade, you know, gold futures, for example. And then, yeah, I guess Topstep liked the idea, and here we are. Here we are. Yeah, see, I wouldn't, Chris. If there was more of a bottom wick, I would. The reason I wouldn't take it from here is because there's not, like, where's my stop going to go? My stop's going to be a closure below this level. I only really have this. So I wouldn't chase it from here. But if we can pull back, you know, just a little bit here on gold, then maybe I'll drop down to lower time frame and see if I can get at least, you know, 1.5, 1 to 2. So if we can get a little bit of a pullback here, because there's not much of a bottom wick, which is a great point, Chris, it means we can create one. So if you chase it with not much of a bottom wick, we could come right back down to create it. Do you use any journals like TradeZella? Just the Topstep journal. The Topstep journal here is fantastic. Gives me absolutely everything I need, man. Built into Topstep X platform is perfect. I did used to use an Excel document or a Google Sheets document, which I still do every now and again for my swing trades. Let's see if I can show you guys. But no, I pretty much just keep it all in here. I mean, these kind of live streams are my, you know, journal, I guess. Like I said to you guys, you know, I will continue to use Twitter like my journal as well. You know, I'll show the losses, and yeah, I'll use this as a journal. But for you guys, yeah, you know, just fire up a simple Excel sheet, or some of the guys in the community, they just, you know, even create their own Discord channel and they post all their trades in there. The only thing about using some softwares is, you know, I would, you know, where it's all automated, I feel like you chuck in all your trading data and you don't actually ever sit and look at it. So I kind of felt like it was a bit pointless. So I guess I'm a little bit old school that, you know, I like to input it manually, because if I do something stupid, then it kind of reiterates what I did and reminds me to not do that. Whereas if you just, you know, you just input all your data, it's like, how often do you actually sit down and go through it? Oh, in the current hour? Sorry, man. No, in the current hour, no, I wouldn't either, man. I wouldn't have taken this hourly, even if it did have a bottom wick, just because this range, this is kind of like my no trade range here on gold from. So even if this hourly here had more of a wick, I still wouldn't have taken these longs, just because you have support here, and then you have resistance right here. So this would be my no trade range. But if we can break out and pull back, great. Now I'll take it. Just because, you know, you can kind of see here was a perfect morning star play, but look how it didn't work, because you were buying right into resistance, which doesn't make sense. So you can't really see this one, go, oh yeah, you know, I would have taken this one, because if you tried to take every single, you know, hourly breakout here today, you would have got stopped here, you would have got stopped here, and you also would have got stopped here. So no, even if this had more of a bottom wick, I wouldn't have taken this. But to me, this is the confirmation. This isn't, you know, the move. People see this and go, oh, I missed the trade. No. This is the move. The move is happening. The move is now confirmed. If we pull back, great. We can now get our trade. If it just pushes from here, that's also fine. But this is the, you know, remember, we have confirmation candles, and then we have entry candles. Same as yesterday's 80 tick trade. These are our confirmation candles. Here's our entry candles. Same as the trades, all the trades from last week. Here's our confirmation candle. Here's our entry. Here's our confirmation candle. Here's our entry. That's what we want to be doing. You know, don't get too trapped into trying to predict. So this is our confirmation candle. Now we want to see our entry candle. If it just pushes from here, that's fine. Gold's not too far from all-time resistance, so I won't chase it. But if we can pull back, fantastic. Do I use copy trading? Yes, I do use copy trading, man. When gold is at good areas. Right now, gold being close to all-time highs, I won't copy trade this morning. But most time, yeah, I'm typically a copy trade man, yeah. It depends on the market, it depends on the setup. You know, if I can see if gold's in a bit of a range, you know, I won't copy trade, I don't want to over risk. But if I can see like a pretty perfect setup like yesterday, yeah, absolutely, I'll take on a few accounts. I have to also imagine, guys, a lot of people trapped in some shorts here on gold, sitting some stops above these Asia all-time high levels. So I would love to be buying up into this, but this is my first breakout, and kind of just I don't want to chase it from here. No risk to reward for me to chase it from here. What's AQ up to? Thank you, find some support. And when did you start to wait for hourly closure? For example, now 30-minute bullish. When you decide to wait for hourly, I'll decide to wait for an hourly closure if the range is just really, really, really messy, and if I'm not really getting any, if I can't see any volume. So I guess a good example is kind of like this. I believe this was Monday, I believe. Yeah, Monday like this, you know, I'll wait for an hourly closure just because of how messy this price action is. You know, you can kind of see here, you know, you're bullish, bearish, bullish. Like if you try and trade during here on the lower time frame, you will just get chopped up all day long. So when I see this, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm just going to walk away for an hour, wait for more of an hourly breakout. Or another example is if I see the hourly time frame, you know, closing extremely doji like this. Doji, 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 doji. So then I'll wait for my hourly breakout here, then I'll get my trade. It's very rare that, you know, you'll jump on, you'll see the hourly just going absolutely sideways. It happens, don't get me wrong. I mean, again, you know, even here, like here, let's say if you're, you know, you're buying gold because gold's bullish. Well, if you see this hourly close bearish, well, then you're not going to be buying until the next hour closes because that's going to confirm your hourly fake out. But as soon as this does close, cool. You tag loads, you close bullish. There's your hourly fake out confirmation. There's your trade. You know, 70 ticks. You know, and to be honest, that would be a great setup for me here. If we had hourly fake out sales from here. So let's say the hourly, let's say if this pre-London hourly candle closed bearish, then I'd be waiting for an hourly to close back above, confirm my fake out, and then I'd get my trade. I do prefer 30-minute fake outs. I mean, kind of even here right now on gold, like, you know, this hourly's been so choppy that, you know, even if this just pushes, I would still be more than happy to wait for an hourly breakout than get chopped up in this range. Because gold can be fantastic to trade, but it can also chop you up all day long if you don't wait for them higher time frame candles to close. Where would we find more information about this strategy? If you head over to my YouTube channel, which Topstep have kindly put in the description, I have plenty of videos, man. Even in these day in the live videos, there's loads of trade breakdowns from trades that we've taken on stream, taken live together. So again, look at this, loads of breakdowns in here, man. Look, losers as well, losers, winners. You guys can go see loads. Like I said, I've been posting these videos for a very, very, very long time. For the past 4 years. You can go watch me from 4 years ago. Strategy's completely different here. But yeah, head over to YouTube channels. Plenty of free videos, man. That YouTube channel is where it all started for me. That's what we love to hear, man. Appreciate that's what we love to hear. So what I'm kind of looking at here on gold, guys, is a little bit of a liquidity wick before we take this higher. I can't chase gold at all-time high resistance. Do you still lose accounts? When was that? Yeah, I lost 150 last month or the month before after a payout. For sure, you know, you're not always going to be the markets aren't always going to do what you want. You know, like I said, you're going to have good months and you're going to have losing months. It's the same as like if I look at my long-term personal account, you know, it doesn't just go like this. It goes, you know, like this, and then might peak up, and then I might have a little down period, and then I might go back up. That did not mean that part. But, you know, and overall, you know, your equity curve will be like this, but you're going to have good periods, you're gonna have quiet periods, you're gonna have losing periods. But all in all, as long as you're up on the quarter, year, you know, you're winning. Sometimes, you know, you might have just traded really well for 2 months. You might take a payout. The next month might just be one of them months where it's just not a good month. That might cause you to maybe lose an account. But as long as you're not just churning through accounts, fantastic. But you kind of have to accept, you know, you're not going to be making money every single month. But that's why it's always good to, you know, I say to diversify. You know, have your day trading accounts here on Topstep, have your personal swings, have your personal stocks, have other things that are going to take off the pressure. So on the times where the markets do go quiet, like in August I know is one of my quietest months. So when it came to August this year, I was just way more patient and I got through it pretty well this year. Whereas last August and the August before were terrible months, me just being so quiet and not being able to sit on my hands. So now I kind of have that data. I know the times where I want to be more cautious and manage my risk. And if I can, you know, and I want to kind of try and understand, you know, if I feel like I'm going through a bit of a quiet period or a bit of a losing period, I want to try and recognize it as quick as I can. And I want to understand, is it something I'm doing, or are the markets maybe just not playing ball right now? And if maybe the markets just aren't really following the plan, or we're not really trending, which absolutely isn't the case on gold for the whole entire year, but this is unnormal for gold. But you know, you maybe next year you get months on gold where it doesn't really do that much. You want to minimize them losing months as quick as you can by just having awareness and having recognition. But the biggest thing you want to understand, is it maybe something you're doing, or maybe it's just the markets? You might do everything right and still not make money. That's trading. But what you want to do, and that's what I did for August, is just reduce the risk. I know August is typically a pretty quiet month. I'm still going to live stream with you guys daily, but maybe I'm just going to reduce the risk and we're going to survive it. And I think we even still came up green this month, August. So gold having a bit of a pullback here, which is nice, guys. Like I said, this is not the area to chase gold, because at any point you pull back and then you come right back up. The nice thing here on gold, as long as it hasn't been grabbed on the currency, is we do have an Asia high double top. Yeah, this is looking good actually. Same on the currency. So now we have some liquidity above here. So anyone who is selling here on gold, stops above, still in these sells, I think we could come up and squeeze them out. Now that we're having this nice pullback from here to here, it's a potentially 100 tick range. These ranges are huge. We got this 15-minute close coming in here. If we can get a little bit of a wick down here on gold, I wouldn't mind getting long below some of these lows. Now gold's kind of shaping up for us here. Again, don't chase it. Gold doesn't move as fast as you think. Let's have a look at the euro. The euro, however, absolutely does. So there was your breakout here on the euro. There's your sell. There's your confirmation candle. There's your entry candle. You could have the euro coming all the way back down to 1.1764 to come down for a big liquidity grab. Let me go back. Where's our analysis? Copper. So, I mean, long still look good here on copper to me. Although you didn't close above here, to me, I think this is a squeeze to bring in some early sellers. I think you take this higher. But again, what I think are what going to happen are two very different things. So just wait for the breakout and then take your trade. Decent 15-minute bearish closure there on gold. Top wick, which makes me think if I was aggressive, I would scalp it down into these lows. But if we can pull back here, hold some support. Now we have clear targets. Why is this a clear target? Well, it's a very nice double top. So now we have clear targets, so we're buying up into a liquidity level. We've also liquidated the lows. We've also had a 30-minute breakout. We're now having that pullback. Cool. Let's see if we can now get our trade. This is looking good. Coach Aaron, what trigger you see before entry? Kind of, I mean, pretty much everything we kind of said already. Like, you know, this trade from yesterday, which we shared before I took it, it was a 15-minute morning star. It was a 30-minute breakout. It was higher time frame support. You know, the trades from last week, very nice morning star. But the most important part for all these trades is clear targets. Clear targets buying up into where most people are trying to sell. And my liquidity levels for last week was for price to come all the way back up into all of these highs here. So I was buying this up, trying to buy into where most people are trying to sell. Same thing here. We kind of said this live on stream that, you know, a lot of people trying to short here. Stops above. Our reason for entry is a 30-minute fake out confirmation, and then we take our trade. So there's a few different ways to enter the trades. You know, whether you want to take the morning star plays or you want to take the fake outs. My favorite setup at the minute is the fake out plays. When you get that closure below the support, then you break right back above, like yesterday. Huge support. You broke below the support. What does that do? Gold may squeeze here, guys. May see this first 5 close and see if we can get this. What do we have? 50 ticks. So this closure below brings in a lot of sellers. The reason I don't short this is because I know gold's overall bullish. This is huge high time frame support. So once we close right back above, there's my fake out confirmation. There's my trade. So that fake out on the hourly yesterday on gold ended up giving a huge, you know, 450 tick pullback yesterday into the New York session, which is very, very, very nice. What's the reality behind FX YouTubers who push funded account codes? How much do you get? You don't make money off people blue accounts. You don't make money if people blow accounts. I mean, if people use your link, you know, you maybe get a little bit of commission. Topstep don't do affiliate codes anymore, which is kind of nice. But I mean, you know, just do your own due diligence before you jump on any firms. The reason I'm trading here on Topstep is because I used Topstep for so long on my channel, and Topstep are the number one. The number one. I mean, technically you do, because if people keep blowing accounts, then yeah, sure, you make more money. But just follow someone who's trying to show you the right way to trade and teach you the right things. Like I'm here trying to teach you guys to not blow accounts. I don't want you guys to churn through accounts. Whether that makes someone more, you know, more commission or not, well then you shouldn't be following the wrong people. Be following the people who are trying to advocate good trading, which is, you know, all the guys who have their own channels here on Topstep. Their own streams, I mean, like, you know, Dakota, all the guys in fast markets, you got D, you got Coach J, all, you know, we're all trying to teach you guys to become the best traders that you can be. Like, I absolutely don't want you guys churning through accounts. I want you guys getting consistent. Yeah, decent squeeze here on gold. Just want a little bit of a bottom wick here, but this is look at this, straight back above. Unless we get a steep bottom wick here, you know, you can consider a quick scalp. What's that? 40 tick range. I wanted a little bit of a bottom wick on this 15, but yeah, you'll be getting a lot of early sellers here on gold getting trapped out here. I wanted to buy up into where most people are trying to sell. I just want to see a little bit of a bottom wick. But let's see, this is a pretty strong reaction. So we'll get rid of this now. I couldn't squeeze that low. So directions right here again on gold. You know, people jumping in these shorts, sitting stops above. And then people see this move up and go, oh, gold's impossible to trade. I hate trading gold. So no, this is great. You see this, you're buying up into where most people are trying to sell. Because what does gold love to do before a push up or down? Loves to come down, grab the lows, and then push. Come up, grab the highs, and then push. Let's see, 10 seconds. It's looking very, very, very bullish here. Look at this. See if we can come down here. See if we can pull back into these little highs here and get a quick scalp into this. A very, very quick scalp here. 20 ticks, pretty aggressive. Nice. Let me see if I can micro this. Let me see. Let me go 15. Very nice. Very, very, very nice liquidity targets. Where is it here? Yeah, it's only 20 ticks. It's a bit too aggressive for me. I'll draw it up as if I'm not going to take it. It's a bit too aggressive, but that was that little quick. I've not taken this, guys. It's a bit too aggressive to scalp into the highs, but it's a little quick scalp that is there. I'm not feeling that. Not feeling that risky here today. But there's a very high chance you're going to squeeze out any early sellers here. As soon as it hits the highs, you'd have to be managing your risk. You try and see if you can squeeze it a little bit higher. So you got the currency at the high, so you'd be managing pretty aggressively there. What would you be up on that quick flip? 30 ticks, not bad. 30 ticks in 5 minutes. Yeah, currency just squeezed the highs there. That's not an Aaron trade. No, that's a Aaron trade scalpy, very very quick scalp. If I was feeling aggressive, I'm not feeling that aggressive here on the first trading day of the month, but that was a quick 40 tick scalp there. Caught that quick scalp, $200. Nice. Very quick move, man. Very quick move. But hey, it's good. It followed the plan. You had a breakout. You had to clear targets. Not the biggest of ranges, but hey, it was. If that was a 30-minute time frame trade, it was there. Look at this for a squeeze here. Look at this 15-minute here on gold, guys. Look at this. How many people do you think would be getting short here on gold? So although we haven't taken a trade here, we've saved ourselves a loss. How many people do you think would have been trying to short this 15 rejection here on gold, guys? Look at this. Look at that beautiful 15-minute rejection. Now, why were we not selling that? Well, because you hadn't grabbed the highs, and that's what gold loves to do. Loves to come up and grab the highs. So what we were trying to do is buying up into where most people were trying to sell. So lovely squeeze here. Look at this on gold. Probably push 100 more ticks. I know it's possible. 35 ticks, nice. Good quick scalp, man. Very quick, aggressive scalp if you did take it, but it was there. But again, that's the plan. Trying to buy up into where most people are trying to sell. Most people are trying to sell here. Sitting stops above this all-time high. We're buying up into that level. That's the whole entire plan for gold. Best signals live on Topstep for everyone. Yeah, it's a bit too. If I had a decent buffer on the day, you know, I would have taken the scalp. But it was it's pretty aggressive. You know, not even 9 AM London time. First trading day of the month. But it was you had a breakout, you had targets. But the thing is though, above this high here, there's not much. So you'd be having to manage. I wouldn't be trying to hold this up for a huge. I'd be taking like 30, 40 ticks and run. What was that? If for 30, 40 ticks, I'd be running. Sold too quick. Nah, that's the thing though. With them trades, you got to manage pretty quick. You do have to manage quick. What's NQ up to? Is NQ still selling off? NQ in a bit of range here, guys. I'm glad we're not trading NQ. Reasons for not trading NQ here today is you've had a huge sell-off here pre-London. Massive sell-off. So what's the likelihood that you're going to keep ripping down or keep ripping up? The probability would tell us that we're probably going to go sideways for a little bit. It's completely normal. The markets move in flows. You know, we move up and then we consolidate and then we break out. We've had a huge move down. Whether it happened when we jumped on or not, we cannot control. All we can control is what we do with this information. And with this information, after a big sell-off, I would anticipate a bit of a range. Whereas a lot of people will see this range and start getting frustrated. But if you traded in this range after a how many, like 120 plus tick point sell-off, that's the risk that you decided to take. You have to accept it. So nothing missed on NQ so far after the London session. You got plenty of time for NQ. Gold having a little bit of a squeeze here as well. Nothing really too much missed here. Yeah, exactly. That's it, man. Yeah, you can only trade what you see. Targets will hit. Job done. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's it. Trade into the targets. Once your targets are met, cool. Lock in the trade. Whether it rips another 100 plus ticks, you took your piece of the market, then that's fantastic. Because anything above these highs here on gold, remember, there's not much of a bottom wick here on this 15. I don't think it's going to wick all the way back down. But remember, we are still in a range. Zoom out. Remember, zoom out here on gold. We're very zoomed in here. What have we done here? We're still in a pretty big range. So at any point, this could easily wick all the way back below 3,900. Before then, chopping a little bit. Did any of you guys on YouTube take that quick scalp? It would have been a very, very quick scalp. Didn't notice the pattern. The GC likes creating an extra 30 wick. Yeah. I have seen that a lot in Asia, actually. Asia is probably the biggest session where you see like extra liquidity grabs. Like sometime you'll see a morning star But in Asia, you can come down for like that extra liquidity grab. Let's see if I can find an example. It's not going to come. I'm typing into Google. Type into Google trading Morningstar extra liquidity grab. Don't think that's going to cut it off. I'll find a real example if it doesn't show up, but nah, it doesn't really show up. Yeah, I've seen that a few times in Asia. When we were on the trading retreat, probably maybe 2 years ago now, we took a very nice Morningstar play, but in Asia it came down for that extra liquidity grab. So what I kind of mean is, let's see if you can find an example. Kind of something like, I don't know, just take this for example. I mean, I just want to find a real example here for a second. You haven't really done too, I mean, I guess it's kind of like this, but it kind of happened more in London. You know, you'll have this perfect Morningstar play, but what I've seen a lot in the Asian session is you need more liquidity. So you usually come down for something like this, that extra liquidity grab, and then you can have the push. I've seen that, yeah, I've seen that a few times in Asia. That's to create that extra grab. Aaron is fire. I cannot. It's 4 a.m. here. Wow. Wish I could watch this more. Great stuff. Thank you, man. I appreciate you tuning in. Remember, you can always watch these back on the Topstep channel as well. 4 a.m. is a late night grind, so I appreciate you either staying up or getting up for the streams, man. 1 a.m. here. Nice. Late night grind. Yeah, 4 a.m. That is a grind. Whereabouts is that? Where is that to be 4 a.m.? Whereabouts are you to be on 4 a.m.? What time is it in New York right now? Yeah, 4 a.m. Wow. Now I'm done. Nice. Good job, man. Good job. Took a quick scalp. 4 a.m. Yeah, appreciate you tuning in, man. See you next time. So gold back at these all-time highs here, guys. You know, there was a little bit of a scalp here. You know, that 30-minute didn't have much of a top wick. So like I said, you guys, if there's not much of a top wick, you can come down to create it more. You ended up creating more of a 30 bottom wick before then pushing. That's why I say to you guys, you know, if you're taking these 30-minute trades, if you sit here and watch it, you know, maybe you were doing something like this. But if you were sitting here watching this, you've seen it go up and then you see it come back down, you go, oh, maybe I'm going to close this trade. You close the trade, then it ends up doing exactly what you want. So if you take these 30-minute trades, you know, be okay with having your entry, have your stop, have your alerts, and just let the candle close. 4 a.m. in Dallas. Wow, appreciate you tuning in. Have a great day. Thank you. You too. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you tuning in. So yeah, like I said, guys, if you take these 30-minute trades, you know, the way this candle played out in real time wasn't as picture perfect as it looks. You know, you look back at this, you go, oh, that was a perfect bottom wick and it kept pushing. But realistically, it not always does the 30-minute open come down for the perfect wick and then just push straight up. You know, sometimes you'll come up, then you come down for more of a bottom wick, and then you end up doing exactly what you want. But if you watch this in real time, it's an absolutely emotional roller coaster where you see a bit of green profit, like, oh great, maybe I'm going to go to break even straight away, or maybe I'm going to leave it. You see it coming down, you go, oh, maybe this isn't looking good now. You decide to cut the trade, you cut the trade, and then it ends up doing exactly what you want. So if you're taking trades on the 30-minute time frame, you know, sometimes you have to be okay with having your execution, having your stop, have your alert set, and be okay with walking away. Because, you know, the way these candles form, when they close, you know, oh, this looks like an easy read. Like this right now, this looks like an easy read for loan. But if you're watching it in real time, go up, go down, then come up, and then maybe down a little bit more, then go up. So don't always sit there and watch it. Ended up being a lovely 30-minute squeeze there. If I'm taking them 30-minute trades, I'm executing it, and I'm walking away, and I'm coming back for that 30-minute closure. So Owly has confirmed a very, very nice breakout here on gold, guys. Gold back to some all-time highs, which is huge. Also, unfortunately, does make it a little bit tough here because you're back at all-time highs. We have nothing but price discovery to the left. So be careful trying to trigger new trades here, guys. NQ's in a bit of a range. Copper, where's our copper analysis going? Let me put it back to this chart. Copper getting back above as well. You guys remember, you know, we're looking for these nice longs on copper. We've spoken about the sells on the euro to come back down to some major lows down here after having that beautiful third drive, extra liquidity grab, and now breaking back low. Lovely sell-off here on the euro. I believe at the time there was no bottom wick on this 30, so maybe that was a reason to short as you start wicking back down. NFP, yeah, I mean, NFP take us to 4K. Man, I would say, no way, but we're really not that far away. I mean, we are, but considering how much price we're doing so much at the minute, it's like, it's really not that far away. And remember, guys, you do have big news today as well. We do have big news coming up here today. Non-farm employment changes. You got PMI. And if there's too much on the cards tomorrow, then Friday is the big NFP day. So let's Sammy's on the couch snoring. I was like, what was that noise? Sammy's on the couch snoring. I don't know if it's because gold's at all-time highs. He's like, yeah, I'm going to bed. I don't know if that's a sign or not. Oh yes, true. Is NFP off? So NFP will be off. Okay, that'll be key to watch. Yeah, no data from the government. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that, to be fair, this US shutdown malarkey could give some very decent swing trading opportunities, guys. Could give some very, very good swing trading opportunities. Yeah, I guess you can still. Yeah, I guess you can, Sean. Yeah. It's the first time it's happened since what, 2018? First since 2019. Why it's more serious this time? They're trying to scare us here. But yeah, to me this could give some great new swing trading opportunities. The shutdown began early Wednesday for an estimate of 750,000 federal employees and halt. Disrupt a wide range of government services. Unlike previous shutdowns, however, the Trump administration appears not only prepared for an extended standoff, but it is openly threatening to make any of the temporary job losses permanent. Wow. Okay. Definitely keep an eye on that, guys. That's for sure. If anything you guys want to use for live news coming out, is the Trader Hub here on Topstep. This is straight from Financial Juice. It's a good one to get instant news coming out. You know, you got scheduled in news. You have actual live news coming out here as well. I don't actually know, Marcel. We can definitely have a look, man. Look at this. Gold's still absolutely rallying here, guys. Gold's on a huge run. Maybe that scalp wasn't such a bad idea after all. YouTube guys, I do have to wrap up here. I do have to jump on a call with one of the community members. So I will wrap up here, guys. There was a quick little scalp opportunity there on gold, but nothing really too much today. You know, we're back at the all-time highs. We got NQ with already a very big sell-off before we were able to jump on. So patience will pay on NQ. More sells to come, but it might come close to that New York session. And with gold at these all-time highs, yeah, let it range now. You know, there was lovely buys up into these highs, but now we're here. Try not to chase too much from here. And we'll be right back again tomorrow and stay very active and up to date with all this news coming out, guys, because it's a very, very, very impactful here. So no trades from me here just yet, guys. We'll see what we get close to that New York session. If gold keeps ripping all-time highs, that's fine. I'll wait till tomorrow. But gold at new all-time highs is exactly why I said yesterday I will not be selling gold. Even after as much as it did push down yesterday, you guys remember, I said I will not sell this. But once we dip, I'll absolutely get the buys back up. So I'll see you guys same time again tomorrow. Trade safe, guys. Stay up to date with the news. I'll talk to you guys soon.